Today is a Friday. Yeah, I could not do the morning broadcast for certain reasons, and that's why I'm doing the evening one. And as I do the evening broadcast, and I'm actually heading out to the gym, so I thought it would be a good time as I drive to the gym for us to catch up. Now, I know the question would be, Arthur, why do you have to drive to the gym? Well, I have to drive to the gym because my gym is actually I'm at Loggerheads right now. I'm thinking I have two gyms I can go to. One gym is 7 kilometers from where I am. The other gym is 8 kilometers from where I am. Now, the gym that is 7 kilometers from where I am, hi Emma. The gym that is 7 kilometers from where I am charges extra than the gym that is 8 kilometers from where I am. But the gym that is 8 kilometers from where I am has a road that might actually be very bad this time because it rained the entire night. So, kakati math aliao. You know, normally I tell you guys it's a math game. So, the car is actually running and I'm deciding, should I go 8 kilometers, 7 kilometers? 7 kilometers more expensive, 8 kilometers cheaper. But 8 kilometers has a bad road that might actually be bad since it rained the entire night. 7 kilometers expensive, but the road I'm sure is good. Where do you think I should go? 7 kilometers more expensive, good road. 8 kilometers cheap, bad road. Both what happens is both give me the same service. None of the gyms gives me anything extra, but the other one charges me a bit higher. And actually the gym 7 kilometers has high chances of being closed because that person doesn't pay employees, so I'll go 8 kilometers. Yeah, so hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're good. I hope you had a good Friday. Cheap always expensive in the long run. No. I disagree with you, Emma. Cheap is, and when I was studying marketing, our marketing professor used to tell us to stop using the word cheap. Let customers use the word cheap. You as a business owner or as a marketer, you should be using the word affordable. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Let me use some SC today, because if I don't use the SC, it's going to be a little noisy in the beginning. I just want the phone to cool down. There is a lot of sun. Let me show you this view. I hope the camera is clear. I want you to see that. I like how that looks like, the view from up here. Yeah, that's very nice when the sun like shines on the green. Yeah, it looks really nice. I like how it looks. Ooh, that's a nice view. So Emma, actually sometimes I find that cheap might actually be cheap in the long run. You see the expensive gym, actually it's expensive, but the owner doesn't like to pay employees, and she has very bad conditions. When a gym employee comes, she wants the gym employee to first of all go in the morning and do some housework, then come and instruct people in the gym, which no gym guide that knows what he's doing would actually accept to do that. Yeah, so anyway, today we are talking about, there is no standard on anything. Basically, there is no standard on anything. I know we're talking about cars, but I'm thinking cars, clothes, wives, husbands, jobs, businesses, decisions. There is no one size fits all, because we all make the decisions we make based on past experiences first of all, but we also make decisions, for example, based on things we have read, things we have seen, things we have had people talk about. That's how we make decisions, right? But sometimes we make decisions based on what we want. Yeah. Mister, that information ya munda. how did you come to know about it? Were you close with high employees? Yeah, when we are in the gym, we actually talk to people. And actually, when you talk to people, Emma, it's very important when you go to get service somewhere and you get bad service. Sometimes it's not entirely the fault of the person giving you service. When you go to the gym and you realize that actually the guy instructing you doesn't do that willingly, you get into conversation, and yeah, they tell you. I'm not a very people person, but I think people draw into me and they tell me. And yeah, and also I found the gym closed like 3 times. Now when you find the gym closed 3 times, the people around say why the gym is closed, because it's a very well equipped gym, and you would imagine that that gym should be open all the time. That's why you put a lot of capital, over 15 million, you put it into a gym to keep it open. But if it's closed on 3 occasions, when like a regular customers, they will definitely ask the neighbors, "Abai, gym we badechi," and then they will tell them. So we are talking about how there is no standard, there is no one size fits all. In everything. Let me give you a view of this game park, what you guys call a game park. Yeah, so there is no one size fits all, basically in everything we do. But since here we talk about cars, we're going to be talking about cars. And why normally when we talk about when I do broadcasts here and I tell you which cars I recommend, and I tell you which cars I don't recommend, and I tell you which cars are hard to maintain, then I tell you which cars are easy to maintain, then I tell you which cars consume fuel a lot, I also tell you which cars don't consume fuel, then I also tell you which cars are common, which cars are not common, which cars have high resale value, which cars don't have a high resale value. In a way, I'm sharing the experience that I've had. I'm also sharing the experience of people that I know. I'm also sharing stories I've had. Yeah. Okay, Chris Da Vinci, hi. Okay, Patrick, Emma, Chris Da Vinci, Clip Films. But if anyone is not paying their employees, everyone will know. Definitely, everyone will know. Everyone will know. Yeah. Yeah. So when I share that, the information that I share here, I don't share because I'm the knowledgeable person, not because I went to school to study these things of cars and all. I'm not a mechanical engineer, I'm not a mechanic. But what I want to say right now is this: I've seen all the time that I help people select cars, all the time that I help people choose cars. And my experience has been that most of the times people come with their mind locked, as in, this is what I want because this is what I was told is good, because this is what I was told I should buy. And most of the times I find that when you come with that kind of mindset to procure a car, it can be very detrimental. It can hinder the process of you getting a good car. Sometimes it can even hinder you buying a car in the long run, and then you'll end up spending a lot of money in simply searching. For the guys that I've searched cars with, when we were looking at cars, I think they realized that finding a car is actually a job itself. Finding a good car, not finding a car, because if you went out to find a car, any car, you would definitely buy a car in one day. But just getting a good car that is not just good, as in mechanically good and all these technical bits that we normally talk about in this channel, but a car that is also good for you. Normally when I'm helping someone buy a car, I will ask them, what do you do, for example, and then I'll ask them, what kind of person are you, and then what fits you, what do you think you'll feel comfortable driving. A few like 2 days ago, I think there is a follower of mine here that came to look for a car. We failed to get a car for him, not because he did not know what he wanted. He knew what he wanted, but apparently what he wanted was, I find that it was overpriced, and there was nothing good in his price range, nothing good enough for him in his price range. And I find that had we gone higher than that price range, we would be making a loss of the money, you get. So eventually I started showing this person a few other options, and I think the mind was already locked to the type of car that he wanted, and we ended up not actually choosing. We ended up not choosing a car. That person ended up not getting a car, and yeah, because we moved for like 3 days trying to look for a car. I had spent all the money that I was given, so I told him that we need to give it a break, because if we haven't seen the car in 3 days, we're not going to see this car, another car, in the next probably 2 weeks, which is always the case, by the way, because we moved to all the spots that I know have good cars. Now the next place for us to look would be in a place where probably you go to someone's Chikomera, and that's why you will get a good car. And then but I told him he could go and look for a car with my mechanic, even without me there, because it probably save him money. I prepped him what he needed to do, because when you're dealing with mechanics, you actually have to be sharp. That's why I always prefer to be there. And if I hadn't been there, he would actually have gotten a car. But because I personally keep asking the question, is this comfortable with you? Do you really want it? Yes, I see you want it, but this is the repercussion of you buying this car, and this will happen if you don't buy the car. By the way, the reason why this road, I thought this road was bad, because they just recently graded it, and there is a night I came and it was really bad, so I had to turn around and use another route. Yeah, but it seems fairly okay. They have to grade it, I think, another time to make it smoother, but it's not bad even when it rained the entire night. Yeah, so from the conversation I had with him I think 2 days ago, I know the kind of person he is. He's a young man, and their professions. He sent me a Toyota Corsa. Now, this is not because I'm against the Toyota Corsa or anything, but he sent me a Toyota Corsa, and it's what he wanted to buy. And yes, it looked good, but it was a Toyota Corsa, a UAF series. And he was asking me what I thought about it, and how much I thought it should be worth, or how much he should buy it. And the first question I asked him was, why are you buying a Corsa on UAF? You get, why are you buying a Corsa on UAF? And then his answer was, I'm trying to buy a car that moves within my budget. Now, I know his initial budget. I don't know if he touched some of the money, because the car he sent me was way lower than his budget. At least the budget he told me. But he sent me that Corsa, and that was my first question. And his response was that, Arthur, your question bite, like they are tough, probably. That's what he meant. And for me, knowing the kind of person he is, of course, I told him, people, they are going to tell you to buy this car 5 million, but where are you going to sell it 5 million if you drive it for a year? And the fact is, he would not sell it anywhere at 5 million. You get? And he said, okay, now that I think about it, no. And then my next statement was that, imagine yourself driving to work in June 2023, and you park that car at the office. Now, I want to make this clear, that this particularly applied to this one person. Okay, it applied to this one person. If it were someone else that is not in the profession that is in, I would allow them to buy, probably a doctor or a teacher or a builder, but the kind of person he is and the profession that he's in, I wouldn't allow him. I wouldn't recommend, although I ended up by telling him that he can buy the Corsa if he liked it, but I personally wouldn't recommend that he buys that Corsa. And when I asked him the question of, imagine yourself parking this car at your workplace in June 2023, he laughed. Now, do you know why he laughed? Because the imagination, the thought of him driving that Corsa through 2023 is hilarious. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's hilarious. Okay, it's very hilarious because the kind of job he does, people will definitely be telling him, why, yeah, akamoto car. You know how Council Yunus was telling us that his lawyer friends were telling him, akamoto car when he was driving a Paso. Now, we might take that thing for granted, that people should not be deciding for you which car fits you, but it's very important for us to understand the kind of professions that we are in, the kind of people we work with, and of course, how it looks that we drive that particular car. Because every profession has a style. Lawyers have a style. You don't have to drive a Mercedes-Benz, but you can drive a car that looks like a Mercedes-Benz. Hi, Charles. You can drive a car that looks a Mercedes-Benz, much more affordable to maintain, okay, much more fuel friendly, and with a higher resale value. There are always cars like that. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So again, today I've been having a conversation with still one of my followers here. Let me show you this. Why isn't it turning? Now, for you guys that don't know these things, Kampala, and afterwards you went abroad. So today I had a conversation still with another follower of mine, and our conversation was along the lines of buying an IST, okay? And of course I haven't done a review video of an IST. I know a close friend of mine that drives the IST new model, so this follower of mine just gave me an idea to actually reach out and do a review of that. So I didn't promise when I'll do it, but I'll reach out and definitely do it probably next week. So I was having a conversation with this gentleman, and he was telling me he does long distance travels when he's not at work, and sometimes he travels to Kampala, for example, distances of example like Gulu, Kampala. And I was telling him that after we discussed all this and then looked at his budget, then I suggested to him that maybe since you do these long distances, why don't you think about buying a car that is safer for that distance? Because trust me, if I had to do longer distances more often, I would not be driving a Toyota. Personally, I would not be driving a Toyota. I'd probably be driving a Volvo or a Mercedes-Benz, mostly Mercedes-Benz, because Mercedes-Benz is very easy to maintain and you could actually diagnose the problems before they actually happen. Yeah, so I'd probably, if I had a big budget like 25, 30 million, I would not actually be driving a Toyota any day if I were doing long distances. That's why I'm saying that there is no one size fits all for anything, not even cars. So I'll be driving a Mercedes-Benz. That's me personally. And my reason is, I'd probably be driving a Mercedes-Benz or a Volvo. My reason is quite simple. It's that, of course, Volvo is one of the safest cars ever. If you have read about it, Volvo produces some of the safest cars. If you haven't seen crash tests, you should go to YouTube and try to see crash tests of Volvo when they are comparing with, for example, Mercedes-Benz or BMW or Toyota. Volvo produces some of the best cars ever, and that's one of the reasons why I would be driving a Volvo or a Mercedes-Benz if I were doing long distances. And why am I recommending to this person to buy a car that's not a Toyota? One, he doesn't drive this car every day. He drives it every now and then, once in a while. He drives it once in a while when he's not at work. Like out of the month, he'll be driving it like 10 days. You see? So he's not a daily driver. So it would be a safe car to drive long distances. So I think that if you're driving those long distances, the kind of car you need is a car that, in case you got into a crash, God forbid, I'm not saying that anyone will get into a car crash, but I'll tell you honestly, the only reason I'm driving a Toyota is because, well, I can afford it, and I can afford it if I'm driving it daily. I may not be able to afford a Mercedes-Benz as a daily driver, but if I could afford a Mercedes-Benz as a daily driver, of course, yes, there is a luxury bit of driving a Mercedes-Benz because it's luxurious. When you come out of a Benz, you have definitely come out of a Benz. But Leave alone the people that buy old Mercedes Benzes. They buy 6 Benz at 7 million. Definitely, if you buy a Mercedes Benz at 7 million, it will have a problem. But if you bought your Mercedes Benz straight from the bond, okay, and you checked everything, you kept servicing it on time, you would not have problems with Mercedes Benz. I know people that have driven Mercedes Benzes for the past 10, 20 years, and he has been driving one Mercedes Benz and he has not had a problem. So there are cars that are safe for long distance driving, and there are cars that are not safe for long distance driving. Of course, they will tell you that accidents come because of your reckless driving, but I can tell you that some accidents, that's why they're called accidents. You see how I'm driving now? I'm driving at less than 20 kilometers per hour. You see that guy? He's probably doing 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. He's driving the same car I'm driving. He's driving 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. Now that person looks away for a second and he will crash into my car. I would have had an accident. It will not be and I would have had an accident. You guys remember how I told you that I'm going to, this is where my offices would be if I were to be mayor. This is the division headquarters. Okay, I'm just going to let this Mazda overtake me because I want you guys to see it. I think this is the oldest Mazda I've seen on the road, and I'm pretty sure it has a Toyota engine. Like, that's the oldest Mazda I've seen, and he's in the village. But chances are high that if you stopped him there, you would check and it has a Chikumi engine. Yeah, there are chances that that would happen. You see, our roads are very well maintained. Of course, they are not tarmac. We would desire to have tarmac, but we don't have tarmac. So that's where I derived my topic of there is no one size fits all. You should not imagine that simply because Arthur is driving a Corolla and is ever praising it, you should also drive a Corolla. You may actually buy a Corolla and get a lot of trouble with it. Okay, so I'm thinking you should be thinking of buying a car that you're comfortable with. I bought this Corolla because I'm comfortable with it. That's why I went as far as Masaka to fetch it. Okay, I would have to start wanting to drive a Primo. I've never desired to drive a Primo, but apparently there are people that want to drive Primos, that they really desire to drive Primos, and it's okay. But if I were to leave the Corolla home and probably buy another car, I think the next car I would buy would be a Toyota Wish. Toyota Wish. I think I want to drive it. I would feel comfortable driving the Wish. You get it? Now that brings me to another conversation I've been having with still another follower of mine about the Toyota Wish and I think a Fielder. Yeah, Fielder, Wish, and Spacio. So we have been having a conversation where we were comparing these three cars. We didn't really compare in depth, and I think I need to do a video that is deep about comparing those three cars. For starters, of course, comparing the Wish to any of those two cars would be unfair. Why? Because the Wish is 1.8cc and 2.0cc. It doesn't have a 1.5cc version, yet the Spacio and the Fielder have the 1.5cc. Now, if you're the kind of person that is going to buy a family car, you're going to simply mugenda kuba mwevuga waka, probably once in a while otekemu ensawo ya amanda, otekemu enkota y'ettooke, then I would tell you to buy a Spacio or a Fielder 1.5cc. But that will work if you have a family of like 4, maybe 2 kids, 3 kids, and they get a 7-seater Spacio. That Spacio that is going off the road. And just to inform you, I've written an article about the Toyota Spacio. This article about the Toyota Spacio, and I've uploaded it on the website. The website is buyacarkampala.com. You can go and read that article there. Yeah, so if you get a Spacio 7-seater, still good, but I suggest that if you are going to buy a Spacio 7-seater, you buy one that is 1.8cc. Why? Because you may end up buying a 1.5cc car that has 7 seaters and load it like it's a Ipsam, and yeah, it will not be good for you. Because a Spacio, the Spacio that has 1.5cc engine has the same engine that is in my car, this one, the 1NZ engine. The older model, of course, the second generation, but not the refined one, has this very engine, and then the other one has the 1NZ that is in the, of course, in the fielder. Yeah. So there is no one size fits all. Don't ever buy a car because your auntie had it for a long time. Your auntie might have had and driven that car for a long time because she wasn't driving the car every day. Okay? Like I have an auntie that never drives her car. She bought it straight from Japan. She brought it herself through the forward, and I think she drives it on Easter, drives it on Eid, drives it on Christmas, and on weekends. On and on the rest of the days, they have a van that picks them up for work. So you'll be there thinking, hey, my auntie has had this car for 10 years. Kumbe, for the 10 years she has had the car, she has driven it for 5 years. There is no one size fits all. You guys, when I hadn't started running long distances, when I was very unfit like some of y'all, I used to come, I used to drive to this place and park my car down here and then go to this field and run about 10 to 15 times. Yeah, I used to do that when I was unfit, but now I can run from home to this place and I would not even feel tired, and then I would run back still without resting. So I've evolved physically, I've evolved with my fitness, and actually tomorrow I'm going to do this very run. Yeah, so I'm physically fit. So you see, this is a fielder. This particular fielder that you see is around 2003 2004. Okay, 2003 2004. It's a very good one. It has the same engine like mine. Okay, then there is an ML. That car you see there, the ML, it's safer than a Harrier Kawundo, much more safer. I'm sure you guys by now are thinking that you see this car here, that's a Pro Box, that's a workhorse. That car is like it's a substitute to the G Touring. You know the G Touring. The G Touring used to be the workhorse before the Pro Box came, and it was highly priced, but right now you can hardly get anyone to buy the G Touring from you. Why? It's simple, because people have the Pro Box to buy expensively. It's a VVTi engine. It has the same engine like the one that is in here. So fuel consumption is very good, by the way. A liter can go up to 20 kilometers if the engine is in good condition. That's one of the reasons why I want to buy a new engine, because I know if I put a new engine in my car, I'll shoot from 13 kilometers per liter to about 16 or 17, because my engine will definitely be new. You get? Yeah, so probably next year, these guys don't have grains. This is where I buy my vegetables. Living in the village is good. This is where I buy my vegetables. They are always fresh. Yeah, and there are quite many here. So now that's, by the way, Emma, that's the distance I drive from home to the tarmac. That's my normal distance. So you see, it's not really that long. I've been driving 20 kilometers per hour, and I've driven that one for, there are places of course where I did 10 kilometers per hour, and I've driven that distance for like 15 minutes, right? Yeah. So there is no one size fits all when it comes to buying cars, guys. I want you to always remember. I want you to always think to yourself, can I afford the car? That's always the first question you should ask yourself. Is it within my budget? For me, when I'm helping people buy a car, I always remind them that a car might be good, but as long as it is not in your budget, don't buy it. A car that is not in your budget might end up being a curse. Because normally the reason people buy cars that are out of their budget is because those cars look good. They have nice interiors, they have good bodies, they have new tires, they are comfortable. Those are the only reasons why people go way out of their budget. For example, we were moving with someone and our budget was maximum 8 million. Okay, so we saw a car at 7 million, which was okay, which was good. But then along the way, someone told us about a particular car at 9 million. At that time, I think they told us 10 million. But we said, let's check it out. We reached this car and it was too good. Okay? too good, but way over our budget. Okay, and when my person got to this car, he got super excited. He said, I want to buy this car. Should I call? They send me the money and I pay. And I told him, remember, this car is out of our budget. Yes, it's a good car, but it's out of our budget. Don't forget that. And yes, he was really excited. And I told him, do you know what? Let's pay for this car tomorrow. You go home and sleep on it. Okay, because it ticked all the boxes. But the only box it did not tick was the box of the budget. It was out of our budget. So I told him to go home and think about it. And he went home. He didn't even sleep on it because we left like the place where we were going to get the car at around 5 p.m. And by 10 p.m. he was calling me. He told me, Arthur, do you know what? I think I'll buy the car in our budget. The car we had seen at 7. And yeah. So the next day we came to pay for the car at 7 million, but it had some technical issues and I told him not to buy it. We ended up buying a good car at 6 million. So remember our budget was 8. So we ended up buying a car at 6 million. And since he bought the car, he has not even spent another 300,000 on that car. You get, but he's driving it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So far, a person that had a budget of 8 million has so far spent not more than 6.5. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Tana ko inside the million omkaga na ekitundu. Nayenga budget yali ya million 8. Okitegeera. But that's because we were all sober. We all were sober to make sure that we don't get out of our budget range. He still has a good car. And for your information, the car he got at 6 million, you cannot get it anywhere at 6 million as we speak. Okitegeera, I'm sure he knows that already now. Again, I'll do an interview on him a few months from now for you guys to get to know that person. Yeah, so it's important that you always ask yourself, is the car that is being sold to me within my budget? Is it within my budget? Because I think the one thing that disturbs us as people is trying to do things that are even out of my budget. I'm going to park and try to read these comments. I don't know why today I'm not concentrated. I can't drive and read the comments, so I'm going to park aside and try to read the comments, and then I will proceed because my gym is actually near now, so it's actually not that far. So what is the best solution? Okay, Arthur, hi bro, you hardly talk about Toyota Primo, but I think it's equally a good car. October, I think there's literally nothing for me to talk about the Toyota Corolla. It's a good car. I drove it last year. It's a good car if you find a good mechanic. Sometimes mechanic are jukutamia. But it's Toyota Primo is a very good car. Both models, new model, old model, you buy it. Just make sure you buy within a good budget. Get a good price. Yeah, Arthur, I have a question now. Buying cheap Nissan second or third hand and buying an overpriced old Toyota and it's 10th or 15th. Plus, what is the best solution? Because I find most old Toyotas are very expensive and uncomfortable with weak engines. Okay, so okay, Clip Films, this is a very, 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 very good question. Should I buy a second-hand Nissan or a 10th-hand Toyota? That's a question, by the way, I've been asking myself. But it has two answers to it. The first answer is this. Do you realize that it doesn't matter which type of car it is? If you find a car in good condition, it doesn't matter whether it's a Nissan, a Ford, a Benz, a Volkswagen, Mitsubishi. It doesn't matter which type of car it is. Have you realized that they are all in the same price range? The difference is normally 2 million. 2 million, 1 million, 2 million, 1 million, 2 million, 1 million. It's very hard for you to find a car that, let's say there is a Nissan UAX and a Toyota UAX. You cannot find that the Toyota is way above, like by 10 million. It's 2 million. It's always 2 million difference. Do you know why the difference is 2 million? Because the 2 million you're going to save by buying a Nissan, you will put in spares afterwards. That's just what it is. That's why people normally don't buy Nissans and they end up buying what you call the expensive Toyota. Because I've given you an example of the person that we helped buy a car at 6 million, and he's driving it as we speak even now. His budget was 8 million for a Toyota, an old Toyota. He bought it at 6 million, and he has not spent more than even 500 on that car, yet it's moving properly. So the difference is normally 2 million, but that difference of 2 million is also saving a mukugula one. You're going to spend it in fixing it. And I've realized that majority of people that buy Nissans, especially the men, they end up learning to fix cars. Why? Because you buy a Nissan. Sometimes you'll fail to find someone to help you fix the car, or sometimes it'll be too expensive. So you end up having to learn to fix those things yourself to save money. So and that's if you find the spare, by the way. Because the problem of these cars is sometimes the spare might not be available. Like a friend of mine drives a Nissan X-Trail, and the speedometer is not working. And he told me he has to import the part. He cannot buy it here because here it's very expensive. And then there is a time he told me, I don't know what part he was talking about, but he told me that there's a part that he needed to buy, and here in Kampala it was being sold at 1.5. But good enough for him, he was able to import it at 500,000 from I think from India. You get. So that's how far you'll go if you buy a Nissan. Yes, it might be cheaper here in buying, but when it gets time to maintain it, it will be very expensive. That's why you see there are more old Toyotas on the road than there are Nissans. And that's why there are more Nissan second hands and more Toyotas 10th hands. Why? It's much more easier to maintain a Toyota and keep it on the road than it is to keep a Nissan on the road. So that, but I said, like I'm saying right now, because our topic is there is no size fits all. You can end up doing the math and finding that the Nissan works for you. Buy a Nissan, but you just have to know that the people that have Nissans spend more money on keeping them on the road than the people that have Toyotas. That's why people keep buying old Toyotas. You get, like, I will give you an example. If you bought a Nissan of the same kind, like a saloon, like my Corolla, 1.5cc, blah 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 blah, I'm going to buy a new engine, a new Kawanga of the engine, but that's basically the engine. A new engine at like 2 million. You'll find that buying a Nissan engine will be like 4 million. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. And it will be 4 million, but it will not still be in Kampala. That will be a problem, and you don't want to go through that trouble. That's why people end up buying Toyotas even when they are much more priced. But it's a question of you saying this fits me, that fits Arthur, that fits Solo, that fits David, that fits Emma. You need to know what is good, because I find that Toyotas are actually comfortable cars. The Toyotas you're talking about that are not comfortable are Toyotas that have bad shock absorbers, Toyotas that have bad suspension system, Toyotas that have bad seats. But it's comfortable as hell. I've been telling you guys, I sat in a new Subaru UBM and I drove it. But when I came back to my Corolla, my God, and by that time I hadn't even changed the shock absorbers. I sat in my Corolla, and my God, I realized my Corolla was comfortable. That's what I'm saying. Much more comfortable. And ask anyone, Toyotas are much more comfortable than Subarus, for example. Of course, Nissans are comfortable. Most Nissans are much more comfortable than Toyotas. But you see, every car manufacturer, like all of us, I can't be good in everything. Probably I'm not good at doing, but I'm good at talking. There are people that are good at doing, you get. And then there are people that are good at, let's say, eating. And there are people that are not good at eating. There are people that are good at sitting there. They're not good people that, you get. You need to understand that Nissan beats Toyota in the area of comfort. Toyota beats most car manufacturers in durability. Actually, I think Toyota beats all car manufacturers in durability. So that's one thing we need to understand. So Nissan has, that's why you pointed out comfort. Nissan has mastered comfort. Teri moroka ya Nissan jo turama yitaba comfortable. But teri moroka ya Toyota egana kurama. all Toyota cars, apart from the Terios, apart from the Nyongeza, apart from the, I think those are the Toyota cars that I've realized can fail people. There is also this Toyota Camry, those small SUVs, they are deadly. Don't buy them. So I hope you get what I'm saying. Toyota has mastered reliability, that you can drive a Toyota car for 40 years. But it's very hard to drive a Nissan for 40 years. Yeah, but there's no one size fits all. Everyone I know chimokoleda. Succeed. Yeah, Ivan even Succeed. Succeed and Probox are very good cars. Succeed, but Probox is a more workhorse. Succeed in a shock same abega, but the Probox has springs. So etikanyo Probox etikanyo. Bro, this website is wow. Thank you, Tazan. Thank you. Am I saying, did you know I'm born of Watindo stage where I heard you speak of lately? Yeah, you told me. And it's where our graveyard is, but I rarely know Matuga. Yeah, kati mwolaba mweje baba zikatife kati je tuzimba amaka. Hi Arthur, which car is that you bought at 6 million with your client? It was the Ipsam. Yeah, but you can also get Mark II, but Mark II will not be very good condition, but you can get Mark II at 6. Mark II Musota, don't buy any other, and make sure the Mark II Musota has Beams 2000 engine. Yeah. So Corsa he bought. I don't know Tazan. I don't know if he bought the Corsa, because right now I told him he could select cars and get my mechanic to check out for him, because I might prove to be a little more expensive, because of course I pay my mechanic, but of course then you're paying for me as well. But if you take the mechanic alone, then you're paying the mechanic alone, which take it, and then you're doing two jobs. You're doing the job that I would do, and you're doing your job as well. Yeah. So because the mechanic will be checking the mechanics, that will be his primary. So hello Arthur, does Toyota Uganda do general motor vehicle maintenance? And if yes, why don't people go? Moses, the thing is simple. Toyota is very expensive. There are things that are cheap at Toyota. Like when you're buying parts, you find that some of those things are okay to buy. Like when I buy my new engine, I'm going to be buying air filter from Toyota Uganda. Okay? I'm going to be buying fuel filter from Toyota Uganda. I'm going to be buying oil filter from Toyota Uganda. Why am I going to be doing that? I'll even buy the fuel pump from Toyota Uganda because I have a new engine. I want it to last more than 20 years. I want my boys to drive it when they are going to campus, because in America, campus, my boys are like 2 years apart. So 1 year, one boy joins campus, 2 years later, another one joins campus. As the other one is going to leave and I'm buying him a new car, this one will be driving this one. And that's just how it happens. So I want to drive it. There are things that are cheap, but like any business, Toyota can't be having clients like UN, like the government, UNESCO, and then going to Corolla EMPR. Bagenda kugamba services 400,000. Ningo chimanyi waliwo bakola service emitwale 12 bakugambe full service ya $1,500,000, but you know 5 million you can buy another car. You get what I'm saying? So you need to understand that it's not a one size fits all. You can go and try your luck, but all I know is that I've not seen people that are driving old cars taking them to Toyota Uganda. I think with time you just undergrow the level of Toyota Uganda, and most of the cars that are serviced at Toyota Uganda are actually company cars. You'll find that it's drivers that are taking them there, or executives. For example, an executive that works at MTN and drives themselves, they'll take the car to be serviced at Toyota Uganda because, well, the company pays for the service. It's not you who pays for it, it's a company car. You get? So you need to understand that you can't compete with like MTN Uganda or Airtel when you want to service your car. We keep to our level. Ngula ebienso gula mu Toyota Uganda, then servicing it, because I know what needs to be done to be serviced. And today I was watching this guy, the spokesperson for National YouTube platform, Waswamo Fumbiro. I was watching him on a certain TV program that was uploaded to YouTube, and he was saying before he joined Bobby Wine, he was driving a Nissan Murano latest model. But when he joined Bobby Wine, his life downgraded. Katachavuga Murano. Do you know why? This is for clip films. he downgraded from Nissan because Nissan is high maintenance. Yabagagga ngo ine toke. Bubato ina toke ngodda mu Toyota zafe. Toyota is much more easier to maintain. And then with the Toyota you can actually change from time to time. Bwavu bukuluma no tunda bwo ina Land Cruiser no jitunda. Okitegeera. Then no gule motoka jokola josobola no sigaza waka sente. So for the hustlers normally I recommend that you stick to Toyotas. Na ene Toyotas manyine mulimu motoka zina resale value ya omanyi ya waguru ocha nezita ina. Yeah. So Moses, but it does general maintenance. You can go change brakes, you can go for service, you can go for shock absorbers. Maybe into a movie a bay in you. I'm going to try and buy shock absorbers from Toyota and Abe Center because I know they have genuine things. There are good Nissans and bad ones, just like Toyota has some bad cars. Actually, I had given up on Toyotas before I found your channel. Toyota Raum old model was very stubborn. Ha! Ha ha! Muganda wange, wavuka ku Raumu. Raumu na lolumbe bannange. People avoid Raum old model. Wanzukiza ka Raumu. I realized it driving it the second time. Nekanta mirada. Nze sikagula. Okay, let me tell you this. This is what happened. When I was going to buy this car, it's a UAM. Sorry, someone was calling me. So I was telling you a story. When we were going to buy this car, we knew we were going to buy this car. But we reached Masaka. We stopped at a used car bond. And they offered me a Toyota Raum, that old model. They offered it to me at, I think they were saying 10 million, but I knew they would even have sold it to me at 8.5. It was a UBB. I left it there. That's how much I don't like that Raum. Kari ku UBB ngabakala muna milioni 10. Na kare kayo clip films oli mutufu. People avoid Raum old model, but it's not a size fits all. Ojja kusanga yo muntu akugambe nze ati Raum old model yankolera. Osange yo omulala aganze Raum old model is my savior, but I personally don't recommend the Raum old model. Having had experience with it, kati wuyo wokubina yabagambe Raum old model si emotoka eyakabye eri awo. You get it? But now I'm looking at Alteza, the one with the big boot space, the estate one clip. If you're looking for Alteza, but make sure you don't buy an Alteza that has a Yamaha engine. The Alteza ina Yamaha engine ejakuta messing in Raum old model. So when you're buying an Alteza, always make sure you buy the Alteza that has a the Beams 2000 engine. Now the Beams 2000 engine is a VVTi engine. The Beams 2000 is a VVTi engine. It's not so good on fuel, but it's much better than the Yamaha engine. Yet it still gives you the performance the Yamaha engine would give you. But you need to know you need to know that Alteza sikira mabega. So tochera birecho. Yes, good evening, Kenneth. Jack is saying, joke ahead. Why are you wearing a vest yet it's about to rain in Kampala? Actually, it's not about to rain where I am. I really don't know. It's not going to rain. Let me change. Let me actually start and go. I'm going to the gym, David. That's why I'm in a vest. One of the reasons why I Siva Moto is the time I had a very bad mechanic. Then that mechanic told me, go wait, touch it, whatever muto. And I told him, one of the reasons why I love having a car on me all the times is because, like now, if someone were taking a border, for example, if you were taking a border, being in a vest seems queer. If you're driving your own car, being in a vest is actually okay. Because of so to wait that's one of the reasons why I have cars. Yeah, so like I'm saying, guys, there is no one size fits all when it comes to cars. I don't find it comfortable. I don't find the interior appealing. It's not comfortable basically. Which yeah, you already trained me on the pins. Which price range? Charles Honda. Tighten your phone, bro. Oh, sorry. Na ine kubo lyende musiri edunje nnyo. You guys, now you see our towns this way. Abagaga tubeere eno mu byalo. Emma, abagaga tubeere eno mu byalo. Tetukyagala kerere wa kibuga. One day do a list of the worst cars to buy on Ugandan roads. Don't worry. On Padday, I think I should do that video tomorrow. I think I should do that video tomorrow. Jack, I think I should do that video tomorrow. I think I have a list and I'll keep updating it with time. Kuba waliwe moroka mutufu ezitasanye gula Kampala ngejja kutama okitegeera. But you know, clip films, I understand. No, I don't like the Corsa, but actually the Corsa, especially the new one. But you know, one of the reasons why I don't like the Corsa is because it's hard, very hard. Ask any mechanic. The Corsa has an engine called the 4E, I think. Now I'm pulling into the gym parking space. The Corsa has an engine called the 4E. Now, one of the hardest things to do to find is the 4E engine in Nganonji. There is a time we were looking for a car. That's why I normally don't. But to sanga engine in Nganonji, it's rare. But it's very rare. That's why I normally tell people, Kosa wabogero jigula, go with a very good mechanic. Atajja kwagala kulia sente za mangu, because you may end up losing all your money because obaddo yagala kugula kamotoka ke bakugamba mbu tekanya mafuta. So it's very hard to find an engine, a car that has a 4E engine. It's very hard. But you can drive it. I don't recommend the Corsa for young people like me because our feet are very heavy. You can decide to go faster engine. So that's why I don't normally recommend the Corsa. But you can buy it if you really want it. But you know, Jack, Cliff Films was telling us that there are some good Nissans, just like there are some good Toyotas. But you know, Nissan and Toyota, you're welcome, Geoffrey. Toyota has a reputation for being reliable. Nissan doesn't. Once you understand that changes your entire direction of which cars to buy. I know all problems for Raum and how to fix Nafuka mechanic with that car. And the default engine in my first car, it was a Vista Natomera. Exactly. So it's important for you to understand. Katina take clip to abantu wali office mechanica with the Raum and your before Vista. Katina Nissan ogenda fukira dala mechanica. Ogenda fukira dala mechanica. What dala. May I have one of my brothers-in-law. Aina Nissan, he has like 2 Nissans in Bikumchikomedachi. I'm going to call him and there is a lady that is driving the border here. I don't know if it's computer misuse. Alimujikoleza. Zenjabala gange ebirungi. Apichi ya self si ya kusamba. Njagala tulawo bagivuga n'agijjawo. Akishara alina mugisa. Eyase. Nagenda. Mujja kutyaba walabe Kampala kati. They are hustlers. So I don't want you. Yeah, she's happy. I think, you know, it excites men that a woman can ride a motorcycle, but it excites women more that we get excited about them. So that's the excitement. Nenga, someone here with money needs to buy an acre in your game park. In the near future, it will be also town, and you will be finding it hard to get to see any green patch within your game park. Hey, it's our no acre ya ferimu million in Kaga. An acre in our game park. Ata wobo suobode. Ferimu million in Kaga. So just imagine next year was again a cent maker. But it's even hard to find an acre that is together now. It's very hard for you to find an acre that is together. Salmi ngo tusereting angenda kusibula. Nyagenda kwata mu chuma. I remember my piece with the Ipsam. I sold it to upgrade it. Guys, you should read Clip Films. Last comment. You guys, the Ipsam is one car that will give you peace. The only challenge with the Ipsam ya mafuta anti Ipsam yenywa muko. Na yenga mafuta woboga vuddeko, Ipsam will give you peace. Most Toyotas will actually nzeka kampa peace banangi skaina akona buzibu. I will tell you one thing, that the distance I've driven living where I live now for a year, people drive it for like 3 years. Like a person that lives in Tinda and works in town, the distance I've driven in a year, he drives it for 3 years. Which take it. But this car has never broken down on the road. Orumuntu wakasa musanvu, orumuntu wakasa wanya, orumunkera. Which take it like today I got home very early, and that's how I decided kangende konkwateko mu chuma. Which take it. So even if they are hard to maintain, Nissan Patrols are so no, but Nissan Patrol, I take at clip. Nissan Patrol is in a different range. Nissan Patrol is an SUV. The one reason why people that drive Nissan Patrols never find problems with them is because by the time someone drives a Nissan Patrol, they already expect it will be expensive to maintain. So they have money ready to maintain this Patrol. Now here, you buy a Nissan Bakaitawatia, a Nissan Note, thinking that you'll be spending the same amount to maintain it, like a person that drives a Duet, a person that drives a VTs, only to realize that driving a Nissan Note is as expensive as driving a Toyota Hilux. Actually, Hilux might actually even be cheaper than driving a Nissan Note. So it's important for you to understand that ataba Patrol baba mulevo ndala. By the time I buy a Nissan Patrol, I'll be loaded. Njakuba nakasente, njakuba mugaga muvundu. Ochitegera. You can't. It's very hard to find, but because you can't find a Nissan Patrol at 15 million. Ochitegera. You can't find a Nissan Patrol at 18. Ojajigula million ngabiri mutana, asatu mutano. Why? Because as a Moroccan nene zero awono okufa. Ochitegera. And yeah, exactly that what Jack is saying. A Nissan Patrol is manages all roads. Neither a bay no kujigula, but because the people that buy it are ready to spend the money, that's why they never complain about them. By the where did the weights disappear to? There are few on the roads. Jack. Even the people that have the weights are suffering. They are suffering with them because they have no one to sell them to. Have you seen a car before that has Najevugira at the back? Now those are the guys that drive Nissans. I mean the Duets. Yeah. Any car that has a Daihatsu engine, yes, on with Daihatsu Terios, Daihatsu Hijet, Daihatsu Duet. Daihatsu had very bad engines. Daihatsu Kami. Arthur, which car can you recommend before you go? I sometimes carry equipment when I'm going to the field to shoot videos. Kakati. But you know, Mark II, Musota has a very big boot. But I think since you're going to the field, you might need a car that has estate. Ngatoso anojisi baka katanda waguru. Police nitakuta wanya. The Fielder is a good car if you can afford probably the old model, the model that looks like my car. Karibu mkadenyo Jack. Me, I wouldn't recommend anyone to buy a Karibu. Where are you going to sell it when it comes time to upgrade? But you know, clip films, dayoku Ipsam wo in a budget in tono. Ojakwe yagara. You buy the Ipsam Super. Oboso rogula Nadia, but Nadia na Ipsam, me I would buy the Ipsam. Why? The Ipsam still has big boot, but you can still make the seats go down. Atiro soroji saka katane bata kwatako. Ochitegei. But Fielder is a good car. You can buy any estate car. You can buy a Vista Adeo, one that doesn't have a D4. One way in a VVT and enga see D4. You can still buy that one. Each other car. Now I'm looking at cars that have estate. The estate version. Why? You can actually buy a newer if you can afford it, if you have a budget that is. Because instead of buying an Alteza at 9 million, I would actually recommend that you buy a newer at 13. Why? The newer is big. You don't even need a Katanda up there. It has already big space in about 2,000 and Nebajula. Then if you buy a newer that has an open roof, you can actually even shoot your videos when you're through the roof. I would recommend the newer. But also if you're buying the Ipsam, since you do film shootings, you could also look at the Ipsam that has an open roof. Basically with each car you can decide to buy an open roof car. Because what way is Jemikoloji and Baga and shooting, for example, in Baga in the field. Yeah. But look at estate cars generally. VVTI cars, you can buy the Fielder Eringe Moruka Yange. Yeah, it looks like my car exactly. You can buy it at around 15 million. If you're lucky, you can find it at around 10. Mboba lucky. Yeah. Mboba Edef. Jituaring ha ema jituaring na yon kadde
yeah nzirayo ewa ex wange Ipsum. I miss it a lot. Just buy the Ipsum and then collect your money again, capital wakule, so that you can buy the VVTi version of a Ipsum if it's there. But you can buy a Wish. By the way, Wish. Yeah, start with the Ipsum or with the center, then you upgrade to Wish. But the Wish, you can even get a good Wish at 13. Bobato focusing on your number plate, you can get a good Wish at 13. Ngategena na yokuta wanya. And Wish is VVTi, so that in your new mafuta. G2 Mojeso, G2 is very old. I would never recommend any of my people to buy a G2 or Karibu or Kaldina. Okuja Kongo limu budget ya million nyaku kawansi. But doesn't Nua overconsume? Nua is 2000cc. It's the same as Ipsum. And the reason why Nua might consume a bit more is because most Nuas are 4-wheel drives. That's the only reason why Nua is okunya mkoko tufuta. Then echira nechinzo kunywesa amoko is because abantu abavuga Nua bajivuga with a lot of force because they think it's powerful, it should be driven. Normally that's the problem, by the way. I told you a story of one of my followers here. When they work a trick, when you're driving a car, when you go to the rev, don't go beyond 2000 revs per minute. And he used it in a Mark X that belongs to his sister. And he says that his sister normally consumes 50k. Simply by using that trick. But normally the people that drive Nuas, bavugane tukanemo 4 ngali nyamuliro. Garwachite kunywa. But all in all, my video today has been totally about there is no size fits all. Togura moroka because Muganda we yajiguze na wangara nayo. Togura moroka because Arthur yabagamba jemba mugura, because Arthur might have a chance moroka ne muramira ategwe neta kolachi neta kuramida. So buy a car because you want it, buy a car because it fits in your budget, buy a car because you can maintain it, buy a car because you can fuel it, buy a car because you know when it comes to time to upgrade sente zono jamte zijja kuruma. Normally when I go to the field to buy cars with people, I actually ask them, are you happy with this car? Are you sure you're happy? And normally when I ask people that question, they end up not buying that car. Why? Because their conscience has to be settled, and at that time the conscience is actually not settled. So let's always remember that you buy your car for yourself. Like my wife wants a RAV4. She wants a RAV4. So I have to buy a RAV4. Yeta fayoba RAV4 ku UAA oberi ku customer ngate mutawanye nga RAV4 yajja kujivuga akolechi. Awulire mirembe until it comes to a time when she wants to upgrade. So we need to understand, buy things that you'll be comfortable with. Nga tojja kumenyeka, tojja kuwulira bubi, obefudde, obachi. And for us men, you need to understand that you should buy a car nga ne bwefiira ku kkubo, you'll be comfortable sleeping on the road. When I had my Primo before I bought this car, naita mazzi somewhere, nali nkubapanya because of jam, nempita mazzi. Emotoka it got a short circuit, netandika okunyoka mu dashboard. That's why I drive long distances now. Sichakuba bupanya panyobo because bubabutira okuba obubi. So nenyoka. So I had to sleep on the road that night. Era nafuna kufunyi basajja ne bansindika ne banteeka mu maka g'omuntu ne mugamba mama nsaba kusula ku wano njasula mu motoka yange. And she allowed because I called every mechanic and they would not come. So kyenakola ne mmenya omutto ne nyambusa endabiramu. I left the ventilation here and I slept until tomorrow morning when the mechanic actually came. While wiring, he came and got me off the road. So you need to understand that it's important to buy something that you'll be at peace at. And for me, I will not buy my wife a bad car. I'm going to definitely buy a car and first put it in tip-top condition to make sure that ajivuga ngatefude ne bwaba agenda kagadi. Kitegira ni bwaba agenda Masaka, ni bwaba agenda Gulu, she'll just drive and go and then come back. So buy a car that you are at peace with, buy a car within your budget. Make sure you don't go beyond your budget. I think one of the things that we have challenges it's not budgeting. That's why for me, I always ask, what's your budget? What's your maximum? What's your minimum? Okay, you want 8 million, let's buy a car that is not more than 7. So that was 1 million to make it better. Because teri motoka eri perfect Uganda wano kujja keziri mu Toyota Uganda empya brand new. So always make sure to buy a car within or under your budget. okitegeera tugamba nti mbajja agulamu ka milioni 8 ate bandaze ye 10 nga nnungi ate nengula ye 10 okitegeera okujanga you will be at peace with whatever happens after there okitegeera kuba emmotoka ogulayo nze ata sigenda kugituulamu makanika gwe tugenze naye tagenda kugituulamu gwe ogenda gituulamu every day probably otuuke n'okwagala ogitunda obulwagigula you will sit in that car for like 5 years probably ate bw'ona obulwagigula ogenda gituulamu for more than that time. So always buy a car that you're comfortable with. Tukwataganye bakyali bange bambi munzikirize ngende jukira there is no one size fits all bintu by'emmotoka. Emmotoka ata zaayogerako azoogerako with experience. Noyinza okwesanga gwe you will buy your Ford Focus and be at peace. Oyinza okwesanga gwe you will buy your old model and be at peace. Oyinza okwesanga gwe you will buy your Vista with a D4 engine and be at peace. But don't buy a car with a D4 engine. So you guys, I have to go. Thank you very much for being live. I'm going to be live again tomorrow 5 p.m. I'll be live. Town. Tomorrow being a weekend, I have a meeting in town, so I have to go to town. But other than that, thank you very much for being here. It means a lot. Don't forget, I do pre-purchase inspection. Yaonange mfunya okaka sente nendya kasente ne makanika wange gwenzize 99 ali akasente nawe nofu ne modoka ennungi okitegeera nga tebakubye so pre-purchase inspection what nagula modoka the one person to go with yours truly okitegeera. I also sell tracking devices emodoka bwogigula ate togiteeka awo olinde bamajibo okukubire ale kale athasenga nagula tracking device tracking devices zange za mitwala 3 mwemeka including installation after the otandika n'omwaka ogw'obuli otandika okusasula emitwalo emeka 5 why nsobola okuwa ng'osobola obutasasula naye ekyobutasasula kiyinza okuba detrimental in the end ekitegeera ekyokusasula ebeera real time reporting nti emmotoka eri Masaka saawa eno tugigobe etambudde ezze wano yukano okitegeera n'ogigoberera emmotoka paka bw'omanya weeri. Okujjako era n'abaagala marketing services, I can help you streamline your marketing, and I'll also remind you marketing is not free. Bw'oba tosasudde atakujja mukolera era strategies zengenda okujja kusaamuko kasente. There are strategies that normally you people don't think involve money. Strategies as simple as you being hosted on a TV show. Mumulowooza abantu abagenda ku TV shows bagendereyo bwereere. Tebagendereyo bwereere, they pay to be hosted. Okitegeera. And that's like literally one of the easiest ways to get customers. You go into a TV show and you talk, give people free information. People pay money. But don't worry, if you call me and you consult over the phone, over WhatsApp, that's free consultation. Once a sweet akasente ngo yagadde okunda bombuze ebintu bya marketing in person, awumpaya akasente ngabwe tugenda mu field to buy cars, once a sweet mtawo janga 35 and next year zigenda kweyongera muko. Na for now zili 35 ngabo mpasa 35 gango kuyamba ku kulonda emmoloka bojja okumbuza ebintu bya marketing in person era mpaka sente nga kawerako kwegamba no straightening ebintu byo. I'm a qualified, well trained and practicing marketer. Tewali kyenkugamba kukola nga tekikola okujjako nga tokigoberedde ebintu. Marketing things are like bibanga bya basawo baganda. Bwogende omusawo muganda nakweddagala nga lisibe mu kaveera nakugamba lina kukolera mu kaveera n'olijja mu kaveera terikola. That's how marketing works. So if I give you a strategy nkugamba you're going to execute it like this for this amount of time, bwengamba I'm giving you a marketing strategy that will work for you for 4 months gwe nokola emyezi 2 tejja kukola. If it works oba ina probably you're a lucky person. But if you're not lucky and I give you a marketing strategy that should work in 5 months, gino sarawonti nzanja kola emyezi 2 tejja kola ebintu byange biringa bya basawo baganda. No, sikola basawo baganda Martha, sikola basawo baganda, but I'm saying that marketing things, strategies of marketing are like those things. Amanya bisawo bintu basawo baganda bagamba tobisobya okitegeera nange ebintu bya marketing. VVTi Ipsam is there at 2.4. Do you recommend it? You can buy it, but you not clear feels by driving a Ipsam 2.4cc ratchet of Zembuvuzi Harrier 2.2cc. Okitegeera. I would rather drive a Harrier than drive a Ipsam of 2.4cc. That's my thought. 2.4cc mu Ipsam is not worth it. Egera kube kunywa amafuta ga bwerere. Awuddayo ku Ipsam yaffe super eri ya bulijjo okunganya akasente so that you buy a better car, you buy a Wish probably. Okitegeera. After my question, you haven't answered me. Primos is super ne old models. Is it a VVTi engine? No. The Primo old models, of course, basically the Primo Super is an old model. Super is like ngabo bwana kola Primo no tujikoze kati ntugitaddemu extra by C sigala engine muzibamu ne engine bagiyita 7A. Of course waliwo ezina 2000cc but the 7A is 1.8 but it's not VVTi. It's only the new model Primos that have VVTi engines. Ziba ne engine bagibayita 7ZZ but it's a VVTi engine. It will be a good engine. Togeza bambi Martha, are you answering Clip Films when you asked about the Ipsum 2.4cc? Kati Clip Films answer yo Martha wanagikuzeemu togeza n'ogula Ipsum eya 2.4cc ejja kutawanya obedda n'omusipisi nagusumulula. Kati omanyi bw'oba ogenda mu gym ogendamu na sente zigenda sasula gym, kati era zingenda okukwata zokka zino endala zigenda okugulira batabani bange ebyokulya nzireka wano ngenda naza gym zokka. So Primo is good car, Salmin. Just buy Primo yona yona gigule. You'll not find any trouble driving it. At maintenance is always very affordable because zona all Primos. Basically, there are things that I put in my car that are shared with the Primo, like the shocks. I recently put 2 shocks in my car. The 2 front shocks. They're the same shocks that they put in Primos, the new models. So don't think that probably maintaining the Primo new model is expensive. It's okay. Zona is very maintainable. Guys, tomorrow I'll be here 5 p.m. again. I wanted to be a Mukamol na ye mama. Omuntu nayogera ku Ipsum. Martha, I hope you're good. So you guys, I have to go. Sagala bude bunzibe ko nganchali mu gym. Emma, Asiku Patrick, Chris Da Vinci, Clip Films, Ivan Mugabi, Charles Nkugwa, October. Lyolinnya lya ddala. Mwesigwa Isaac, Tazan Mugisha, Moses Adams, Kenneth Gumisiriza, David Jack, Mali Geoffrey, Salmin, banaya ani gwesogedde Martha va ku game park yange. Wano siri mu game park by the way. Naffe tulinayo ebizimbe ebyomulembe. Okiraba tulinayo za arcade. Iyo gym yange gye ngenda bagita University of Pain. So you guys, thank you very much. It really means a lot that you take the time to always watch my content. Abantu bangi bakola content ne babulwa mulaba. I never take it for granted. It really means a lot that you guys stay here. And I've looked at my analytics. I also understand that when actually you're subscribed. Thank you very much. It really means a lot. Tell doing analysis and Uganda content bambi. It really means a lot that you sacrifice this Airtel data web bay, you sacrifice the MTN data web bay. Mwabali ebulaya mulina akasente temulinga fe wana abatetenkanye nnyo, but n'abantu abali Uganda that you sacrifice your data ne mulaba live zino. Thank you very much. It really means a lot. Yeah, I wish you guys a very good evening. I'll see you tomorrow at 5. Ciao.